Welcome. I am Crimey Queen, and if you are joining us for the first time, it's the channel where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. We have been delving into the scriptures, Genesis of chapter 1 and 2. We have found out there are 14 gods, and not just the one God as we thought, but of course there is that one God, that God of God and Lord of Lords, because that God is the true Lord, as we would say, is the Lord of Lords. That is the serpent. The Lord of Lords is the snake. The Lord of Lords is Eve. The Lord of Love is waters, and the Lord is also the said God. The said God, who it is said was the wisest of all creatures. The wisest of all creatures, the serpent. When we do the numerical value for serpent is 7. We do the numerical value for snake is 5. 5 and 7 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. And there we have that magic number, number 3. I have done magic number, the magic of number 3, so you can check out magic number for number 3, 1 and 2. Now I am counting back to front because somehow Mother Eve had told me to tell you and tell everybody else and to tell. This is where the gossip goes on. Did you hear that Crimey Queen said that Mother Eve told her to tell us that we should be counting backward? Now the other person says, oh, did you hear that the teller at the bank had said that Mother Eve had told her to tell us, to tell them, to tell him, to tell that we should be counting backwards because, of course, at the bank is where a lot of counting is done. Oh, all right. So I have done, of course, number 2, but I think I'm going to do the second part to number 2 here, because I have shown how number 2 have been it is number 11, and I have done the magic of 11 to show that Mother Eve is in the middle of it, middle of 11. And also have done the magic of 11. When we do 11, we get the number 9, and that's how we see 9/11. I keep saying that because 9/11 had been such a catastrophic symbol, or it is, but I think we need to know that it is not only meant to be used on one way and be scared of it. We need to understand the dynamics of the numbers to make them work for us, you know. And I am saying this because I am ready to learn, because I am ready to grow. So it's really about learning and knowing that Mother Eve is in the center of it all. She wants to please us. She wants to help us realize her makeup is right there. And she is right here. Okay, and of course this is why we see those L's here as well. Anyway, but that is for us to explore, because we are asked to seek wisdom. Seek wisdom. I'm going to add this, and when we find it, have an invisible necklace. Of course, yeah, you can have a visible one as well, but it is, wisdom is number 2. It equals 11. That's the other thing. Wisdom equals 11. So you can see what we're talking about, the 9/11. Okay. And just look at your 2 feet when you stand up. It's 11. Of course, feet is 9. When we do the numerical value for feet, it equals 9. Oh. This is just so much. And of course, this is like a wisdom tooth here. I remember my first realization of it, and I thought, wow, this is like a wisdom tooth. Okay, so, but what I was covering here is when we do the numerical value for the word 2, it gives us 13. Now, 13 is that we all know that Christ was at the table with his 12 disciples. And this is why we see that Christ was also recruiting people his disciples in twos. It always seemed in twos. We also get in the Ark of Noah that there was something about recruiting or getting the animals in 2 by 2, and there was also 7. But when we do the numerical value for 7, we have done this. We also see Mother Eve is here again. This is why I really want to get people to understand that the stories, the way we have been taught, have been glamorized in a way to get us either scared or scared of knowing more, or just feeling that that's enough. Basically, we are asked to seek wisdom. We are asked to seek wisdom. So Mother Eve is 14 here. 1 plus 4 is 5, and 1 is 6, plus 5 is 11. So we see how 7, 11 is really intertwined right here. There is a close relationship with 7 and 11. And here we have 5 letters here, which denotes 5 for Mother Eve again, because we are 5. Mother Eve is 5. 14. 1 plus 4 is 5. So we can see here how the numbers like the 7 or the number of letters are teaching us more than just thinking, oh well, 7 means 5 and so on. But we could see the interplay of our structure, how it works out. So it adds to 5, and then we see it's 5 letters as well. So that is 5 plus 5 is 10, and that takes us back to number the 3 in 1. Because when we write the numerical value for the word 10, it equals 3. This is the first letter Mother Eve uttered. Let, L, which is like hair. So this is another thing I am getting now. Now this is something we really need to pay attention to. This L here in itself, I'm looking at this L here, is really telling us that Mother Eve is very present here. She's saying, get even. It's like L. It's like, let's get even here. This is why 11 is 2 strokes. And there was something more significant was coming here as well, because we have Eve here, and she's saying, like, we have the N here. I'm just seeing L-E-N, like, or but it's really, I'm getting the message here for the L. It's like saying, get even. It's 11 is about getting even. And it's funny I should say that, because that is also, as I say, what is used for getting even when it is used to do whatever people do. Because in 11 is the number 9. So we have 5, for instance. 5, 3, 5, 4, 5, 5. When we add this together, 10, 20, 27, 2 plus 7 is 9. So we can see how 11 has in it the word even. It's like saying the number 5, which we are, like I've just counted here, is asking us to get even, using 11 to get even. This is dangerous, but don't try this at all. Be mindful. My teaching is for good, for the elevation of mankind, and because that is what when I ask for wisdom, I also ask that I know this wisdom and I have all intention to use it for good, for the good of all mankind. And that is the seed that the wisdom is seeping out with. Because if it is used otherwise, one could actually hurt him or herself. It's not meant to be used otherwise. Okay. So we see now back to the power of number 2. So we see number 2 here because 1 plus 1 is 2. Now when we do the written word for 2, we have 13. Of course, 13, and before we move on to 13 as well, as I have shown, 2, yes, that's it, sorry, 2, we do the numerical value for 2. The word 2 now gives us 13. Now back to Christ with his disciples, that they were 12, and we recruited them with 2. So you could see this is typical of Mother Eve, typical of the said God. So in his recruitment is the seed of his kind, right there, being that which would come, that would be. So already it's like coming on equal par with that which he is. So he is recruiting them in 2s. I think there was Simon Peter and the other brother. And these are the things I was wondering, well, why it's always 2s? I think it was consistently 2. But even if it wasn't and it was single, the word 7 comes to 2, because that comes to 1, 5, and we add this up. 5 plus 5, 10 plus 1 is 11. There we see 2 again. So there's the magic of 2 is showing itself in 7. Now I have covered that in the first part, and to also show how there are 2 parts of the 7s, here in itself we are 7. So we are that whole here of 7. We are also this 7 in here. So 7 in itself is showing the 2 sides to it. So basically there's here that 14, which consists of 2 7s, and when we add everything together we end up with 2 as well. Okay, now which is 11, going back to 11, and we can also get 9. So you can see how 2 from 7 here, which is, this is 11, 5 plus 5. I think I'm trying to say a lot, but okay, so 5 plus 5, because this is 5. And when we add this together, we have 11. So I hope you get that. 11 now, we have seen how 11 has become 9. We also see that 9, if we write the numerical value for the word 9, it's 5, 5, 9, 5, 10, 19, 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. We add the number of man. That is the number of man, 6, which takes us into the middle spectrum of our sacrifice template. This is the number of man. We are of 6 different species of mankind, or kind, whatever it was that we had been subjected to, let's put it this way. So that's the one magic of 2. Now, as I say, the equal sign, when you are equal, when you are talking or interacting with someone or something, like I would say, even if it were a stone or the pen and the board coming together, they are, the writing becomes equal. It's the symbol of the 2 coming together, or 3 in this case, because I must be counted. But the board and the pen are still part of my makeup. I am the one now choosing to use the pen, because there's a pen in me. The pen in me is the tongue, the speech, the said God, the ink, the sound. And the board, of course, is the environment, wherever it goes, wherever wall, the plaster, the airs, whoever is the reciprocating, and the 2 come into 1. Okay. So the equal sign, all of this is equal. Equal sign is like this, isn't it? So there we have Christ come together, equal because equal is that you are speaking the language of the other person. That's where the serpent comes into motion. Christ didn't just say he was equal when he said to the disciples, come. The word come is 10. So when you say come to someone, you have also included yourself. There's the magic of the word. Me is here. But you have what you have done? You have sent the me to the person. This is the power of sound mind that Mother Eve had given to us. When you say to the person, come, the M-E is the thing that lingers, and they hear me. They see the C of the come, and they hear the word me. And so they respond. And there you have me. So there we have 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. And there we have 6 plus 3 is also 9. 9 and 9, 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. Okay, so it's not 10. So basically, 10 is birthing. Okay, but it's still 10 because, as I always say, 9 is really 1 and 0 stick together. Okay. Yes, that's the math. Right. So this is where Christ bonds with his disciples. So he ended up having 6 of those wisdom tooth, whatever you want to call them. He had 6 of those. Now, this is what Bailey's had done actually. And they kept bonding, of course. Then he got another 2. And they bonded again. And then he got another 2. However they came and they bonded again. Now we could say that they were the flowers. Now there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. And they would have formed the 12 petal flowers. That's how I'll call them. So there's 3. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So these are the disciples here. They were the ones to decipher. I'm a disciple now. I'm deciphering all this. Okay. So we get the gist of it here. The juice. I like to say the juice. Okay. Now, yes. So we have seen how 2 have become, in this case, 12. And of course, if we add 1 plus 2 equals 3. In this case, we see how it's also 12. And 1 plus 2 equals 3. So do check out the magic of 3. The number 3. So 3, just to do this, I like to be thorough, is 5, 5, 9, 8, 2. So this is 10, that would be 19, and that would be 10 would be 29. So 2 plus 9 is 11. So basically, it has taken us back to 11. You could see the power of 2 and 11 and 3. Now there we have 2, 11, and 3, meaning, and I have done 1, we have been able to see how 1, 2, 3 has been very powerful in that L, the first letter that Mother Eve had uttered. Because it is 1 letter with 2 strokes with the value, the numerical value of 3. Now, isn't that delicious? Indeed, I think this is just really awesome. Of course, as we have seen how the 3 have played out, we've seen how 2 became 11. We see how 11 became 9. We see how 9 became 6 because we add the number of 6 of God, or of course, but 6, of course, once we get into 6, I think it's telling us that we have completed the cycle of whatever it is that we are doing, because it helps us to go into this column. So whenever we get into 6, we are in the middle of a cycle. We are middle 6. You are either indulging in the bucket of basket of wine or whatever it is, or the basket of bread, or you are either going into the new dimension here, or you may be going headquarters to pay your dues to the inland revenue, and so you know that you have completed your full cycle where you are getting back to that 9. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this fun. Please click and like and subscribe. Leave your comments. I would just love to hear your comments, because I know this is a new way of looking at numerology, but we are looking at numerology in this way so it works for us. Thank you. Share, subscribe. Thank you. And spill over with love.